Hello, I'm still Barry Fentiman Hall, and here's the second part of my interview with Ben Aaronovitch for Medway Libraries Week Readathon. In this instalment, he talks about advice for writers, creating diverse characters, and what maybe Peter Grant's favourite sci-fi is.
Advice is not to try and write what you think people want, because it's almost impossible to judge the zeitgeist. And even if you do get the zeitgeist, you do accurately assess what the zeitgeist wants. By the time you finish the book, it will be gone, it'll be over, and you'll feel really stupid. You can only really write, and it's a really unpleasant experience writing for sort of hire that way. It's not fun. So I suggest, if you're going to be writing and you're a first-time author and you're not a published author, because it changes once you're a professional, because then you're in a different position. If you're trying to become a writer, the best thing is to write the book that you want to read, and then hope that other people want to read it as well. That's all you can do. Write it to the best of your ability, and something that you want to read. You can avoid pitfalls. There's a very good book which you might have in your library called How Not to Write a Novel that I recommend to people. And it basically has all the things that you should probably avoid if you want to sell your novel. If you want to write your novel as a pure expression of your own being, then it doesn't matter. But if you actually want to sell it to a publisher, this basically tells you the things to avoid if you want to sell your book to a publisher. It's very good. I reread it once or twice, every 2-3 years or so, just to remind myself. And it's funny. It's a funny book. It's not a very po-faced serious book. It's a funny book. So I recommend that, by Howard Middlemark and somebody else. I would say, if you want to encourage writers, that's one of the best books on. There are other things, and there's lots of stuff online if you want to go and look. The main thing is not to let it get in the way of the actual writing. Write first, edit later. That's what I say. Yeah, it wasn't such a hot topic when I started writing the books. But it wasn't a hot topic at all when I started writing I'm from London, so I grew up in a diverse area with diverse friends and went to a diverse school, and so I'm just writing what's around me. It's good to be diverse. The main thing you got to do is research. If you don't know anyone from a particular culture or something, it can be difficult. Like for me, I knew lots of Sierra Leoneans and people whose parents were from Nigeria, places like that. So writing all the river goddesses and writing Peter's mum and everything, it's just piece of piss for me. But I didn't know any Somalis, so when Gilead sort of pulled up almost by accident, I had to actually go out and research and find some Somalis, find people to talk to. There's people queuing up on the internet to tell you their life story if you're nice to them. Go find them, or there's people write down their life stories. Always go as close to the real source as you can. So if you're writing about someone who came from Nigeria and moved to London, find somebody who came from Nigeria and moved to London. They'll be happy to talk. Buy them a cup of coffee. That's what I do. So always try and get first-hand accounts. If you can't actually get people, get first-hand accounts, and they're all over the internet. Just look at stuff on the internet. People blog about their lives. It's like I find it like, wow, I'll just nick that. Thank you for putting that on for free. I'll just have your life now. Thank you. He was one of those kids that discovered science fiction at about 9, and then just read everything in the YA section in about 3 weeks. It was vaguely sci-fi, and then basically moved into the adult science fiction section because he ran out of science fiction. And so he read everything. He was one of those, it's, a lot of people are like that. I was like that. You go for a period from about 9 to 14 where you just voraciously read everything. You're reading like 2 to 3 books a day. You walk, even kids with their phones. You sit there thinking they're playing Candy Crunch, and actually some of them are reading books. You never know. People make these assumptions about kids today having short attention spans, but I've seen kids on the on the bus, and you sit there and they're looking at their phones, and you think, what are they looking at? And they're not looking at tweets, they're reading a book. People are writing books on phones, for God's sake. It's terrifying. And certainly I didn't know everyone was going to read my books. I was a bit surprised by the take-up, really, to be honest. Peter Grant has to face parenthood, apart from anything else, and actually being responsible and taking up a more senior role. As more people, as the sort of like his empire expands, he becomes more management. He's moving into a slightly managerial role. You know, not too much of a managerial role, because it's not the most exciting thing to write, but his and things are becoming more complex. The politics are becoming a bit complex. But I'm mainly aiming on, you know, every book will have probably a murder, if not some crime at its core, and there will be dastardly deeds and actions and investigations. That's what I'm aiming for in every book. I try to make each book slightly different so that I'm not repeating myself, while, you know, being fun. I write these books. If it's not fun for me, it's not going to be fun for anyone else. So, you know, you're always going to get the things that I find fun. And by now, you've probably spotted the things that I find fun.
Yes.
So, you know, I like a good chase. I like a bit of humour, a bit of references, a bit of misdirection, a bit of, you know, red herrings and stuff. I just like that kind of stuff. A bit of magic, a bit of whimsy. It all just goes in the pot, really. I just throw it all in the pot. Very much. I've enjoyed it.
It's been wonderful.